Hi, everybody. Randy Wooden joining Leslie Spies for the second time. Leslie is an author. She's a friend, and we serve on a number of committees together. But always excited when people reach out of their comfort zone and tackle new projects. So today, from hot mess to God's best, decluttering your mess to be your best. It's Leslie's second book. Leslie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah. So we're going to dive into that. So this is not your first book, but your second. So we're going to get into kind of what all went on behind that. But again, Leslie Spies joins us. So before we get too much into the book, how about you? Let's talk Leslie and what you're all about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, you probably will quickly pick up on the fact that I am from the Southeast. I live in North Carolina, in Pufftown, which is really Winston-Salem, but I have to spell it regularly for everyone. Makes it kind of complicated. So my husband and my two dogs, Izzy and Marley. I have four grownish children. So three live in this area and one lives in Oklahoma.
Grownish.
We're working on it still.
I like it.
So as you mentioned, this is my second book, and we'll talk more about that. In my professional life, I have worked in the field of human resources for 30 years. And if that doesn't make you a hot mess, I don't know what will. So the last few years, I've been doing HR consulting, and I actually am on the verge of starting my own thing, which will be HR consulting. So hit me up if you have a need, HR, leadership development, employee development, any of those categories. And also am planning to do some more things as it relates to my hot mess Christian ministry. So possibly some coaching. I'm Enneagram certified and planning to kind of use that as a basis for some coaching and some speaking engagements, which you'll probably wonder about as you watch this interview, if that's really a good idea. Especially when I'm with Randy, it could go off the rails very quickly.
It could. We're good friends, and it's all in good fun. Hey, I've got to ask you this. You toss around the term hot mess, and I think we all have our own idea of what that might be. But what's your idea? What is for you a hot mess?
Okay. Well, actually, I looked up the origin of hot mess.
Okay.
And it actually refers to hot food in a mess hall from many years back. And kind of interesting because I am a terrible cook. My husband can attest to that. So I really do make hot mess in the kitchen. But anyway, the Urban Dictionary definition is something different, and I think it's evolved over the years. And really what it means is somebody that doesn't have it together. So I'd use another word, but not in a interview about a Christian book. So that's really what it means. So at the time when I kind of coined the term to refer to myself, it was about 5 or 6 years ago, and I was going through kind of some difficulties in my life. I've always had a crazy mind that goes here, there, and everywhere. So that's kind of where it came from. And I know that you, Randy, asked me, can a man be a hot mess?
Yeah. Can I qualify? Can I qualify?
Yes. I actually, when you asked the question, I didn't say it, but I was thinking, Randy, have you looked in the mirror lately? But I actually did a little poll on my website, and the overwhelming majority said that men can be hot messes too.
Okay.
So if you're a dude, purchase my book.
It could be for you. It could be about you. All right. So what's the inspiration? What got you started down that path?
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, 5 or 6 years ago, I was going through a extreme hot mess period in my life, and then enter pandemic. But anyhow, so at that point in time, I was feeling the nudge to write. And I kind of talked back to God about it because I said, I really have a lot of issues. Probably not your girl, but I kept feeling that nudge. So I started a blog, and from there I wrote my first book, which is more of a devotional format. So it's called Confessions of a Hot Mess, From Mess to Message, 90 Days of Messages for the Hot Mess in You. That's a really long title.
It is.
Took a while for that one to be published. So in the meantime, I started working on my second book. And I think what inspired me was just thinking that, as I have walked through my life, and I think for most of us as we walk through life, we accumulate issues. that hold us back and keep us from what God wants us to have in our lives. And that occurs kind of from our earthly experiences and disappointments. And I think a lot of it is rooted in fear of failure and fear of rejection. And that results in strongholds, which are negative mindsets that, again, hold us back in our lives. So that's kind of what I address in my book.
Yeah. So the book's about what? Recognizing these things and dealing. Help us understand what the book's about.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in the book, I write about 12 of the most common strongholds. So it's things like comparison, people pleasing, disappointment, perfectionism, control. I've probably struggled with all of them at some point in time in my life.
Sure.
And it's kind of structured to share some personal stories. It shares some biblical information. I incorporate a little bit of humor in there, and then some practical tips for overcoming that particular stronghold so that you can live the life that you were meant to lead.
All right. So why should somebody buy this? I mean, we're coming up on the holidays, right? Maybe get it for somebody or what? Help us.
Absolutely. For all the hot messes in your life.
Yeah.
For sure. So a couple reasons. Number one, because it's awesome. But all kidding aside, I think it's awesome. But anyway, I think the primary reasons are because it will help you identify some of those things that are holding you back. So some of the strongholds in your life. And I think a lot of times we just start operating kind of on autopilot and we don't realize the things that are impacting us.
Yeah.
And secondly, you'll learn some strategies for overcoming that stronghold. So actually my goal for the book is to the acronym HOT MESS, helping others to make every stronghold scarce.
Wow. That was pretty creative. I love that. That's awesome. All right. So you've written 2 books about it. Are you cured at this point of being a hot mess, or is this a journey? Where are you at on this thing?
I think it's going to be a trilogy. I haven't started on the 3rd one, but I have some thoughts. So I would say that I've gone from hot mess to progress, but probably not quite to God's best yet. But we're working our way there.
All right. So 2 books now. The first one was Confessions of a Hot Mess, From Mess to Message. And this one is From Hot Mess to God's Best, Decluttering Your Mess to Be Your Best. How can folks get this new book?
Okay, well, a couple different ways.
All right.
So with my publisher, I had to buy quite a number of books. So you can purchase it on my website because I need to unload those copies. You can get a signed copy with a bookmark while supplies last. I feel like I'm on a commercial.
Yeah. Before midnight tonight. Yeah. Order before midnight tonight.
LeslieSpees.com is my website. And you can go to the store. You can also purchase both books as a bundle. The other way that you can get the book is it's already on Amazon, so it doesn't officially release until Friday of this week, which is November 4th, I believe. But you can go ahead and pre-order it on Amazon, and it will be out on other sites where you purchase books. I just don't know exactly what or when as of yet.
Anything else you'd like to let folks know about?
I don't think so. I would just encourage you, buy the book, makes great Christmas gifts, buy it in the bundle, and thanks for taking the time to listen to this interview.
Great. I appreciate it. Thank you. Leslie Spees, author of 2 books. The latest is From Hot Mess to God's Best, Decluttering Your Mess to Be Your Best. Leslie, thanks for joining us. Always appreciate your time and chance to get together. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Randy. And